Hey there, I'm meteorologist Jamie Singleton. Here's your daily map discussion for Friday, April the 17th, 2020. It was a nice warm afternoon as a cold front off to our west across the southeast has brought warmer temperatures back. I'll show you those temperatures in just a second, but the thing that really catches my eye here continues to be the snow that fell this morning around the Chicagoland area, up to 3 to 5 inches of snow there. And upstate Ohio here into the Detroit area, some snow. Also into northern Pennsylvania, southern New York State, several inches of snow on the ground. And looks like Massachusetts and Connecticut may get some snow as we go through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. We're up to 4 to 6 inches possible, especially in the higher elevations there. To the south, it's all rain, and you can see a relatively thin line of some fairly robust rain here just to the south of Cincinnati, to the north of Lexington, Kentucky. The cold front that'll be sliding in for tomorrow morning, early in the morning. Then behind that, Virginia anyway, we'll see skies beginning to clear a little bit. The moisture trying to get going here to the south. It's not doing a very good job, but got some very hit or miss showers. Texas, Louisiana, there around Shreveport, and the Rock into Memphis. So this front is trying to gather a little bit here. It's got a decent amount of spin with it in the upper level, but we don't really tap much of the Gulf of Mexico. Let me overlay for you the water vapor, light contours, and it'll take a second to load here. One thing is it's loading. I'll look at California here for you. See that there's one upper level disturbance over the Southern California area near LA, and we've got a second one here off the coast that's diving down into this long wave trough that's basically nearing the Four Corners here. Got another long wave trough that's over the Great Lakes states. It's coming in out of the northwest. So that's where we have our polar air that's interacting with the moisture being brought up from the disturbances as they ride to the east. So this disturbance was a little bit farther north. That's why a lot of the lift is going to go northeast states overnight tonight. Then the systems I'm watching here off to the south in the southern stream, you can actually count more than just these two. There's a third one here, which is really the first system that will arrive later into the day tomorrow here across the south. So this will bring some storms to the south. We'll watch that in just a second, but you can just see the parade of systems. Very active southern stream here. They're all kind of following around, and as these one by one around the long wave pattern, the embedded short waves here, and areas of vorticity and spin will eject on out and give some more rain to the south, probably some flooding issues for the south, it looks like, too, as we go with time. Our temperatures today, again, have warmed up nicely. This is the big picture on the weather map here off of WSV3. You can see showers and some thunderstorms in California with our upper level energy there. Don't have any activity right now convection wise along the front other than just some very light rain showers. See, Florida's still dealing with that old stalled front that's been sitting there with some diurnal showers and thunderstorms. Most of our lift is associated with the warm front that pushed through our area today. So here is the wind field. See the arrows there showing the 10-meter wind. And we'll go ahead and we'll plop the temperatures on for you. And you can see that temperatures are well into the 70s. I'm not sure if that 88 is correct. Maybe a bad number. But we're well into the 70s down across North Carolina, right at 70 in the warmer spots across Virginia. Look, if you go just north of the Mason-Dixon line, you're at 32 degrees right now. Pennsylvania and 30 down in certain parts of that state. Stone State. Mild air, but still cool for this time of the year and behind this front. We don't have a lot of cape area. I'll show you that. This is what the front would need to work with to give us more in the way of thunderstorm development. Very small amounts. Cooling here from Brownsville, Texas up to Houston. Got some across Florida affected. Really, you can see still some dry air that's made it all the way down viewpoint wise down into the northern Gulf of Mexico here, into Florida. Starting around this backside here, high pressure area, and head of the front is where the moist and unstable air is increasing, and that increase in moisture probably lead to some showers and stronger thunderstorms over the next 24 hours. These are the temperatures at 850. And to plot the wind zone for you here, we've got the pretty good low level jet interacting with the front here, head of the front, and that's prefrontal jet, and some decent jet dynamics at 5,000 feet east. Now then, here's our forecast from the Weather Prediction Center that goes through the night tonight. So we've got the one system, the front moves through, scattered showers, advance of that. Really doesn't get into our part of Virginia if you're around Southwest Virginia, South Central Virginia, until after midnight. Then as early as Saturday morning, this will end as snow in the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia, where up to 3 inches are possible. And then our showers and thunderstorms will have broken out overnight. Go back a little bit, you can see the red areas where the showers and thunderstorms are expected. And in eastern North Carolina, don't want to forget Raleigh to the coast, New Bern, Greenville, North Carolina could see some showers and some stronger thunderstorms tomorrow morning, for Saturday morning. But that activity is going to clear out fairly fast for the afternoon. High pressure builds back in through the Ohio Valley with a cooler and drier weather. Sets up a nice day for Saturday. Maybe a bit breezy in the morning, and then as the afternoon rolls on, that high will be overhead. That'll be interesting because by Sunday, moisture returns. Depending on how long that high wants to stay around at the surface, if we go Saturday night, we could see more frost and freeze in isolated locations, at least if the winds are calm and the skies are clear. Those low dew point readings coming in behind our front right now. West. Now, as we go into Sunday, what's left of the front that's coming through tonight and tomorrow will be back down here across the Gulf states once again. So there will be several days of rain and storms here, but this is going to get ejected out. Our next storm system, and you can see severe weather and a better threat of that here across central Georgia, according to the National Weather Service offices there. And we've got this northern stream front that kind of scoops up this moisture. So best chance of rain, we've got one round of showers tonight and early Saturday. Got a better chance of rain, I think, coming up for Sunday going into Sunday evening. By Monday morning, it's probably going to clear out. Got a double barrel low pressure here from Cape Cod all the way down through South Carolina. And then as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday, more dry weather moving from the northwest. So no huge warm-ups all week. Thursday, another southern stream system moving out. So this could again bring severe weather to the south and a good coverage of rain here for 6 or 7 days out for much of the mid-Atlantic and the east. And then it's out of here by 12Z Friday. Get another storm system on. So overall, we still keep it fairly cool with intermittent bouts of rain in our forecast. This is the HRRR version R, which is an experimental model, but it's pretty high res, and you can see how the snow continues and gets heavy overnight. Northern Connecticut through much of the state of Massachusetts away from the coast. And you've got the showers that advance east of the Allegheny Highlands by 8Z. That's about 4 in the morning, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. It's raining most everywhere, getting right up against south side. But look what happens in the Greenbrier Valley here. Snow as that colder air begins to move in, and we still have dash lines here. You can almost interpret that as the dip in the jet stream. It's not exact. Technically, it's thickness. But whenever I see a dip like that, that follows with some vorticity advection that remains out here. So you can see that we're still getting some lift enough just for some light precipitation, mainly across the Allegheny Highlands is where we're wintry side of that precipitation. Now that dies off by around lunchtime or so, but we still have some residual flurries and snow showers for West Virginia. As again, it's another relatively chilly air mass. Most everybody else by the afternoon, though, as I mentioned, we've got high pressure in control. And then for Sunday, this is painting a dry picture for most of us. except for Kentucky and Tennessee, where the return rain showers will be moving in out of the south and then increasing in coverage as we go through latter parts of Sunday. Here's how the European has the same scenario. It's our front tonight, again, ending as snow in the Greenbrier Valley of West Virginia Saturday morning. At high pressure keeps us dry again for a good part of the start of Sunday. Then Sunday evening, the Euro has a little bit slower, bringing in the rain showers by around 7 to 10 o'clock at night. A lot of the heaviest rain, it looks like, with the system. Our next system for Sunday and the Monday will be across the Carolinas, down through Georgia, with severe weather south of this low from the Atlanta area back towards Huntsville, south, Sunday night. That's where a moderate chance of weather actually show you the convective outlook in a second. Monday morning and the Monday afternoon, still some wraparound rain, as you still have a system here that's probably got some stretched vorticity back to the back there. Northeast wind, kind of a cool and raw day, probably a lot of folks Monday. And Tuesday it clears out as our winds go westerly again and northwesterly across the mid-Atlantic. Dry front for most areas except the upslope mountains of West Virginia. Tuesday with more, see these dashed lines, there's your 540 line. So there burst of chilly air and probably some wind late Tuesday into Wednesday. And it's a progressive pattern, so it doesn't stick around too long before we go right back to more showers. Again, there you see the heavier rains, lines of storms here developing, areas of storms showing up in the modeling, showing up for Thursday, Friday. Here's the weather balloon today. It's a dry sounding once again, but a few more, a little bit less of a dew point depression at the higher levels. You're also noting version here, pretty much capped us off here. Like it's around 625 millibars or so. And if you looked outside today, probably a cloud in the sky. So there's the Blacksburg sounding. This is the Greensboro 12Z sounding. A couple of inversions showing up here, but good warm air advection. That's why we are a little bit warmer today. Warmer today. Here's the Storm Prediction Center outlook. Is day one. Valid. We go through Saturday. Again, note the marginal risk here. Eastern North Carolina to the Outer Banks. Slight risk across Florida. And the marginal risk creeps back up here with our next Sunday system. And this is Sunday. Look at this. Enhanced all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. That slight risk probably won't make it much far north of Columbia, South Carolina for Monday. It's primarily I-40 and south where we'll see the thunderstorm. Looks like to the north, it's mainly just a lot of rain. Meso analysis here showing a good amount of warm air advection and frontogenesis. Got the warmer air moving into the cool air to the north. Good gradient shaping up here across eastern Virginia, going up to the low pressure system. It's in Ohio. And at the surface, got another area of red. That's convergence of frontogenesis here, where we're seeing that cold front survive as the temperature gradient supports that. As far as severe weather, again, we'll look a little more at this. This is Cape, highlighted in purple. And wind shear, you can look at the winds there and see them turning the white there near the surface with white, yellow, and green are aloft. Is white, green, yellow. Wherever you have a good turning of that in combination with the Cape is where you have the best chance of supercells and severe weather, at least wind shear anyway. This is a GFS for 18Z Sunday. There's your low coming out of Jackson, Mississippi. And another low, there's several small ones here, probably track to the, but the idea is that from the I-10 area, and then as you go a little bit north of that is where we'll see the best chance of the severe weather. So it could be a very active day Sunday across the south. But notice this Cape doesn't get into the mid-Atlantic this time, so it's different for us farther north. It's more just a rain event Sunday into Monday because we don't have that instability around. But it develops once again, and it's kind of a repeat pattern here almost, but this one's a little bit farther north come Thursday, April the 23rd. So we'll have to see if we get unstable up in the Carolinas and Virginia area, or also Kentucky and Tennessee. We may have to watch for warned away a thunderstorm development as opposed to the rain that's coming in overnight tonight, and then again as we go into the rest of the weekend. 500 millibar jet. We've got a good. This is off of Simu 8 whips. Pretty good jet streak here. May enhance some precipitation. That short wave goes off to the east. I'm going to kind of play it out here. You can see next storm system digging down here across Texas, digs a little bit to the coast. There's where your severe weather is going to be, and the rain to the north. Followed by the northern stream Tuesday and the Wednesday. And that's a dry pattern for us for most areas, but it's a cool pattern. The coldest of the air probably goes a little bit north and east. And then by Wednesday and the Thursday, the model truncates a bit, so it jumps a little bit more, but you saw that other system move. That could be a bit more on the impressive side. Here's how we look at 850 compared to where we should be for this time of the year. This is at about 5,000 feet off the Euro. Here's the warm surge that was over the area today. You can see our colder air back here to the west. And we use this level because it takes off the daily boundary layer where we warm up in the daylight and we get colder at night. This is right above that level where that happens. So this allows us to see the movement of hot and cold air, or warm and cool air. Put it. So Saturday is a cooler day. 850 millibar temperatures are cooler at the onset of the weekend. And then by the time we go into Sunday, start to warm up a bit, but that comes with the chance of rain. You can't really go off this when we're talking about a cold or at least an overcast rain, because more than likely at the surface you'll still be cold or chilly in a pattern like this, because warm air at 850 doesn't really get down to the ground unless you get some heavy. Generally light to moderate rain. I don't really forecast a big spike with 8. Say surface temperature would be cool. Then for Monday evening, again, that system's out of here. Here comes another surge of cooler weather. The really cold stuff staying north here to the Hudson Bay, but this is still a cold pattern for this time of the year. Tuesday, now here comes an impressive front. This one could have some strong wind with it, but again, the heart of it's going to be up here across the upstate of New York into the New England states Wednesday. But the cooler temperatures do reach the North Carolina, Virginia area and the West Virginia for Wednesday and the Thursday, followed by a warm surge, and we open up the Gulf of Mexico once again. So any warm-ups we're getting are coming with the threat of some rainfall. Here's how it looks on the ensembles. Almost done here. Big huge ridge in the Gulf of Alaska. Where was this all winter? This is what's made the EPO so negative. Why we're allowing all of this cold air. You can kind of see a polar vortex here in the northern Hudson Bay, and heights down to 486 decameters there, and the short waves rotating around the base of this. And then you've got the energy that's coming off it's splitting. Some of it's going up here to the north and catching this colder air, and then some of it's forced south of the ridge and comes out across the southwest states into the Gulf of Mexico. This is our next shortwave, Sunday night into Monday. There it is, lifting north. See our coldest heights below normal anyway, pivot around the polar vortex. Another piece of that, again, comes through at negative tilt, which is a good indicator of a lot of lift for Maine, maybe, and Hampshire and Vermont. But for us, it's a good indicator of sinking air and strong wind, in my opinion, along the Appalachians and the southeast come Tuesday and the Wednesday. Then by Wednesday and a Thursday, here comes our next sharpening trough across Arkansas, Little Rock, and again, ahead of that, likely some showers and thunderstorms. We'll see how much of this will make it into in the mid-Atlantic, because we could have some low-level cool air with the converging patterns here, the converging branches, and high pressure at the surface, with the surface fairly warm. But wherever the edge of the wedge is, you got to watch that for severe weather. 24-hour rainfall, not that impressive, up to maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch in West Virginia overnight tonight. Going into Saturday, that breaks apart somewhat. We just get some light rain showers, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch, according to the Euro. Maybe 1/2 an inch here into the Smoky Mountains. And Sunday is mainly a dry day. You'll see that reflected here in a second, but our 24-hour period. Here we go. Sunday by the evening hours, this is by 8 o'clock. Most of the rain still hasn't even got to Virginia yet, but up to 2 inches of rain in some of these showers and storms out across the south. That'll be followed by, several little low pressure systems, up to 2 to 3 inches of rain, maybe even 4 in some spots. Sharp gradient here exists from the Allegheny Highlands to Danville and South Boston, where the Greensboro area may get over 2 inches Sunday and the Monday. We may not even get to 1/2 an inch across closer into the local area where I'm at in South Central Virginia. That's a sharp gradient there. Then our front Tuesday is a mainly dry one, and then here we go again for Thursday of next week. Get an idea of up to an inch. So rainfall. So that is a look at things. Again, it's I wanted to show you one more thing. That was going to be our threat for flooding. So this is the excessive rainfall outlook for today. It's mainly California with that energy there off to the west. Day 2, we start to get into the risk of excessive rainfall that would lead to flash flooding across the Houston area down through Lake Charles. And then day 3, with our severe weather threat, we've also got high flooding threat following that Sunday into Monday across the south. Slight areas cover Virginia Beach down through Charlotte, but really getting to a 15% chance of seeing excessive rainfall within 25 miles of one point here across Alabama and Georgia. So again, it's a flooding situation developing here across the south as we go into late this on Monday. That's your map discussion for today on Friday. I have more this weekend.